What is up, and welcome back to the channel. We are your Colorado real estate family. All right, guys, so we all know that Fort Collins has been one of the top cities to move to in the United States these last couple of years. Well, we're going to throw you 10 things that you might want to consider before you want to move into Fort Collins.
All right, let's go. If you're new to our channel, Chelsea and Pete here, and if you're interested in moving to Denver or any of the surrounding cities, we're the people that you need to know. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified every single time we put out a new video.
Yeah, guys, we'd like to be as your boots on the ground experts. So if you're planning on moving into Colorado, listen, we give you all that information you need to know, kind of where to live, the prices of housing, activities to do. We're bringing it all to you. Also, licensed real estate agent here, helping you out with all your real estate needs. So if you're planning on moving into Colorado, more specifically, Fort Collins, go ahead and give us a call on that phone number right below, right there. You can get Chelsea, and Chelsea only, no one else. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this video. We're going to dive into 10 reasons why you might not want to move into Fort Collins.
I know, and I'm sure a lot of you are like, okay, hold on now. Fort Collins, you guys rant and rave about blah, 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 blah. Yes, we do. However, no one's talking about some of the things you need to consider, and we are going to do that right now, starting with number one being weather.
Weather, yep.
Which might be a really good day to talk about this because
since the wind decided to come in.
The wind is coming in hot every so often. So the weather changes in Colorado in general,
yep.
But we are closer to the mountains up here in Fort Collins. So it definitely changes from day to day, sometimes hour to hour, and today like minutes to minutes.
You could literally be out having a picnic and it's a great day, everything's still, it's sunny out, and just like a windstorm comes in, and then before you know it, your picnic basket's in the air. So it's,
although it's not as bad as what we just experienced this last weekend.
Fact, that's true.
We're just in Nebraska, so
yeah.
All you Nebraskans out there.
We literally, it was so cool. Don't mean to get off topic, but we were sitting there watching this storm and a lightning storm.
So
like,
beautiful.
Oh, this is amazing. It's like a show, and just like wham, just hit us like out of nowhere. We're like
canopies, like
oh yeah, no, we lost our canopies. Were done. It was, yeah.
Okay, so it's not that bad. So there's us being positive for you, but yes, you get it all. You get the snow, you get
yep.
the wind, you get the rain, you get the hail.
Yep.
You get what else? What, you name it, you have it here.
Oh yeah, everything.
And
well, yep.
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 Yep. But
I was going to say something, but then I was about to give up our number two, so I'm like, zip.
Yes, but we are closer to the mountains. The mountains, the way that it works, and if you haven't checked out our like cities closest to the mountains, go check out that video.
Yep.
But it kind of curves around, and as you get closer to Fort Collins, you are right pretty much close to the foothills and also by Horsetooth Reservoir and all the mountains there. So definitely get a little bit more of what entails being close to the mountains. So, okay, let's dive into number two.
All right, number two, and this one isn't going to be quite what you expected. We're going to talk about wildfires. And I'm not necessarily talking about wildfires in Fort Collins.
Correct.
I'm talking about what it creates, and that's the smoke in the air.
Yeah.
We literally recorded Fort Collins this is probably the same time last year, right around there.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get drone video, and so I'll kind of pop a little bit of that up. But it was super smoky here.
Hard, yeah.
And so it's horrible that when we do have those wildfires, a lot of that smoke comes down into Fort Collins, and it's just, I mean, breathing it, everything stinks. Sometimes you get ash, and so it's something that really kind of, it's not a good thing to have when you're living in Fort Collins.
And I think this too has to do with the fact that obviously we're on the west side of town, right? So,
yep.
If the wind is blowing a different direction, you won't have it as bad. But, if you're on the east side of town, so, we always talk about I-25 going north and south from Denver to Fort Collins. That's our main highway.
Yep.
If you're on the east side, you just aren't as affected by the wildfires because you're just, by the time it gets over there, it's pretty dispersed.
Yep.
But being this close to the mountains, which is a wonderful thing, it does.
Correct. I keep almost giving up our numbers, you guys. Okay.
He's like muting himself. I didn't even have to do it. I didn't have to get mean or anything. They don't see me mean though.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we haven't like really recorded recently a lot lately. Chelsea's been working on the back end quite a bit and stuff, and I recorded a few videos myself last week, and then we've had Elena hopping in helping us out. So I feel like we might be a little rusty. I don't know.
I think it's been a minute since we've been on.
Maybe.
Did you guys miss me? Just kidding. Okay.
All right, cool. Number three.
Let's go to number three. Number three is if you work in Denver, Fort Collins might not be for you. So there's a couple things to this. Fort Collins is about an hour.
Well, so if you're, okay, we're thinking about this. You're driving to Denver for work. you're definitely going to hit rush hour unless you're one of those people who works like a night shift or something like that. You're easily looking at an hour, if not an hour and a half, coming from Fort Collins all the way down to Denver because of that traffic. Outside of the traffic, you're probably looking at like 45 minutes to an hour, right around there for driving down there.
45 minutes to an hour, typical driver. And the other thing is, we're recording right now in June 2022. They are redoing the road on I-25. I guess it starts about, do you think Loveland?
It changes, well, because here's the thing, is they're widening the entire highway, so it's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's a 6-lane highway going all the way up, and I think they're even planning on putting like an HOV/toll lane going up the center of it. Not exactly sure on that, but it's been going on for, it seems like 5 years.
So yes, it's going to get better. I helped a client the other day up here, and I was driving back down, and it took I was calling peers like, I am not moving. Sometimes if there's a wreck, it goes down to 1 lane. It's already narrowed right now. So it does make the commute a lot longer right now. We know this is going to get better. It's probably going to be amazing later. But as of right now, since we're doing this video, it is a problem with the construction going from Fort Collins to Denver.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what time it is. Like that construction, like even if you're not hitting that rush hour, there still is always kind of that construction congestion, adding at least 10 minutes onto your drive. So just kind of something to consider. If you're working down in Denver, Fort Collins might not be the best location for you. Although I will say there are some people who are taking advantages of the home prices that are up here, or even Loveland since it's closer to Denver, and they don't mind the commute. So it just all depends on your preference. It depends on what you want to do, what your preference is.
And that's honestly a lot of the things that we're going to be covering today is not to, deter you from coming to Fort Collins. It's just that you need to know these things and make sure that that's the decision that you want to make for your life.
Well,
and some of these people are like, oh, no, like we've had a lot of our clients say, you don't know traffic, Chelsea. I'm like, you're probably right. So it really just depends on what different things that you're okay with and what you're not, and that's the whole point of the video. So
exactly.
Okay, so let's dive into, this one's a good one.
Yeah,
Number
this one,
4.
I can't speak to this because
this is my jam.
And I don't know if I'd call it your jam, but
I'm just saying I'm very educated about this. I actually just helped one of you, so thanks for reaching out and asking about this. But allergies, okay? I'm not proud to be like a gal who has a lot of allergies. However, I have learned to work with them and I know a lot about it now. So I actually use, one of our, not clients, but one of you have reached out recently saying, hey, Chelsea, like I'm thinking about moving up there. Tell me a little bit about this allergy thing. It's like, okay, so we do have seasons here. So that's like helpful because if you do have allergies like myself, it only lasts a season or so. So because Fort Collins still has a lot of parks and it's not so city that it's so dense that it kind of takes out some of the fields and some of the, the natural stuff and the, wild flowers and grasses.
The pollen flying around
all
everywhere.
The things. And because it's older that we still have oak and cotton and stuff like that. So anyways, we do have some pretty decent allergies up here. Typically it's in the spring when everything's blooming, or if it's, in the fall when everything's falling off.
What's your big one again?
Ragweed.
Ragweed, yeah.
I have a really bad ragweed.
It's funny, Chelsea literally she's like, gosh, my allergies are so bad this year. What is it that I'm so allergic to? And she found out it was ragweed. And we looked out our window and there's like a field of ragweed out there.
We literally chose the lot closest to an entire ragweed,
Yeah.
Anyways, there is something you can do about it. There's several different things, but pollen.com is something that I use, and it'll actually gauge different areas, zip codes, cities, and tell you what different times of the year, as well as day to day of what the pollen count and if it's high or moderate and stuff. I know that seems crazy, but it's really, really helpful. I know that if I'm going to be going out on a day that is high in ragweed or grasses, that I need to take an allergy pill. So it's just something to consider. You'll get very familiar with when your allergies exist and when they don't, but then winter comes and a lot of that goes away, so you get a really nice break. It's very short-lived. I know a lot of actually one of our clients was moving from Texas, and same thing, they reached out about this. I don't know if we've talked about my allergies several times, but clearly I have them. But they reached out and they're like, Chelsea, my kids' allergies are so bad, like talk to me about that. And they had moved here and it's gotten so much better. So definitely something that's manageable. Instead of having like year-round allergies, we definitely have seasons.
All right, cool. So let's go ahead and move on to number 5. And shit, we're only on number 5. We're going slow.
No, we're chatty Catholics. Chatty Catholics.
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and hit that number 5, which is Fort Collins is a college town. This might be a pro or a con for anyone. I'm going to tell you right now, we had someone who was interested in moving into Fort Collins. And when he came here, he says that was actually appealing to him because he wanted to keep up on his higher education,
That's
right?
true.
Take those extracurricular courses and such. But also he didn't want to live in the heart of Fort Collins where that college town lifestyle kind of takes on, where it's the night parties and all the students in the housing and all that. But so it's like one of those things, whether it's something that's going to bother you or not, 100% up to you, but it's something that might deter a lot of you. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to live in a college town and vice versa. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yep.
the big thing too is traffic around the college space. You know, there's a lot of other cities that are closer by that you don't have to deal with that. And so we're seeing a lot of our clients kind of go outside of Fort Collins for that. So,
Yep.
Okay, let's
that,
go.
that actually leads into our sixth one.
Yes, number 6 is housing prices.
Housing prices. And so Fort Collins, being one of the largest cities in Colorado, also one of the most popular places to live, housing prices are going up. And so there might be some alternatives, just like on the outskirts of Fort Collins. If you want to be near Fort Collins but don't necessarily want to be in Fort Collins, then we could kind of go to the other cities. So the first one we'll talk about is Loveland, which we did a video about a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, right around there. So if you're a little bit more interested in Loveland, I highly recommend go checking it out, because Elena, who's one of our agents that we partner with up here, she just bought a house in Loveland. So if that's something that might interest you, go ahead and check out that video. You'll see her. It's like me and her on the thumbnail. So yeah, it'll be around there somewhere. All right, cool. Let's dive into the house prices real quick. So Fort Collins, if we're talking about a median sales price, and this I'm going to lump it all together to keep it, pretty short and simple, is $573. So we're talking about your multifamily and your single family. So in the multifamily, we cover condos and townhouses, and then also your single family homes. If you're looking at Loveland, Colorado, you're looking at $505. So definitely much cheaper.
Difference.
And I will say that Loveland it's impressing me how much they are developing and just doing new things in Loveland. It's a great little town, because there's so many times that you guys have kind of reached out to us thinking, and there's this stigma that Loveland's kind of like the place that, it's just old and like no one wants to live there, and it's like nothing hip about it. Loveland is up and coming. I think it honestly has a lot more development going on right now than Fort Collins does. So I highly recommend going checking out a few of our Loveland videos, kind of see if that's something that might interest you if you want to be near Fort Collins but not necessarily in Fort Collins. So next one we're going to talk about is Wellington, and Wellington is a small town that is blowing up. It's just they've got a ton of brand new development. They don't have a large downtown like Fort Collins does, but again, if it's something maybe you want to reach that more of that suburbia style, since it all is becoming more new, you're looking at a median sales price of $495, even cheaper than Loveland. So these are a few of the options if you want to be in the heart of Fort Collins. Maybe we kind of look on the outskirts a little bit to these two other cities.
Yeah, you're going to get way more bang for your buck if you're not actually in Fort Collins. Fort Collins, everyone's moving here for a reason, and you're going to pay a pretty penny to do it. So.
Yep, exactly.
So let's go ahead and get into reason number 7 to consider before moving to Fort Collins, and that is diversity. So Fort Collins isn't that diverse yet. So yet. And I don't think that that's to say that they're not accepting of diversity or change. A lot of more people are actually moving in Fort Collins, and it's becoming more normal that people have moved here and not been living here their whole life.
Well, that's just natural. Fort Collins is always kind of like this town that was up north, and yes, it was one of the larger cities, but when you get a huge influx of people coming in, you're going to get more diversity. And also, college town. And so you have all these college students coming here too, say that they finish their degree. We actually we did an interview video where we did have a college student who graduated here at CSU, and then she decided to stay. You're going to get a little bit more of that diversity. So it is becoming more diverse. It's not as diverse. It's not as diverse as like your larger town like Denver.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of our clients will ask us. We use worldpopulation.com if you're ever interested in kind of looking at the different diversity in different cities around it. So feel free to use that website.
Yep.
We send that to a lot of people to look at any of that, to just look at all of the different cultures and stuff.
Yep,
so.
exactly.
Okay, so number 8 reason, if you don't want to move in here, if you're not really into the biking and brewery community, because that's the vibe here in Fort Collins.
Well, and I will even add to that. I'll say the boating bros.
Boating bros.
I just made that up.
We did biking, breweries, and boating
bros. There's like this.
There is a lot of
Fort Collins. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you got Horsetooth. You can go down to Carter Lake. You got Boyd Lake and Loveland, right? Yeah. But it's like there's all these different activities, and so it's like expect being like involved in those things. And if it's something you really don't like doing, you might have to be more of a hermit, because you're constantly getting invited to do all these outdoor activities in Fort Collins, and majority of those being your biking, your breweries, which I don't know how that's an outdoor activity, but it's here because we
They do brewery tours.
They do,
and they have outdoor.
Is that active though? Like, do people like put on workout clothes and like?
I even wore my fanny pack because I was like feeling the vibe of Fort. I was wearing my fanny pack today. But yes, it's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's active. It's social here.
That's okay. Yeah,
it's
active.
social.
I'll be active. You're thinking so. Yep.
Yeah,
I like it.
And the brewery thing is like, you might go for a bike ride and then hit a couple breweries afterwards.
It happens a lot. Yeah, Tour de Fat. What do you think that is?
Yes.
Everyone rides their bikes and then gets drunk afterwards.
Yes, it's a thing. So if that's not really what you're into, it's a lot of things are driven around that here in Fort Collins, and so you know, you'll have to get a little bit outside of the realm to find other things that, you know, might be that you're interested in.
Well, and I think too, like, I mean, when we talk about this, we're talking mainly about like your Fort Collins downtown and then a little bit of the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
That's not to say there's all kinds of communities on the outskirts that are more suburbia, kind of away from the whole lifestyle of that. So say that you aren't into that. Listen, there is plenty of opportunities. We did what did we do? 4 videos for neighborhoods, different areas of Fort Collins, and our northern side is like there's literally like they were near none of that, even though there were a lot of houses that were like on lakes and they did the paddleboarding and all that stuff. So.
You know what I just realized?
What?
You're so like talking them back into it after every single one.
Well, I mean, I love Fort Collins. I don't like doing these videos. Yeah, like for me personally, I love all these things. It's super important that we give you both sides. Like I said, we got to tell you the good with the bad, you know, all those good things. So, but I personally.
But he keeps talking you back into it after every one. I'm like, honey, it's true though. It is true. You can get away from the downtown.
Yep, very true. All right, cool. What were we on, number 8?
Yes. Number 8 is
nope. Number 9.
Okay, number 9 is if you are a big ski and snowboarding guru and this is what you want to do all day, every day, and you want to go to our big mountains, Fort Collins does not have access to that as easily as some of the other cities.
Guru.
Is that not a thing? Man.
We're just going with it today.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so like I said, if you're the one type of person who wants to go skiing or snowboarding a couple times a week, even a couple times a month, you're adding an extra hour onto that drive, which is already like, it's already an hour and a half technically from Denver, but when you hit that ski traffic, it's definitely way worse than that.
So Vail, Breck, all of the big, like if you're doing like a 5 mountain pass or whatever they are, I don't even, gosh, you know, Peter tried to get rid of our snowboards the other day, and I am just holding on to that because it's been a minute since we've been in the mountains, not the mountains, but snowboarding at least, because we have little kids now. I got to get them on their boards. But anyways, they're
finally reaching that age, I feel like, where we can kind of get them involved a little bit more on that whole side of things. Because I mean, I'm sorry, growing up in Colorado, there was nothing better than waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, driving up there. Fresh powder and just looking out and just seeing the views. It was amazing.
But I will be honest, it is harder to do this now because a lot of people are moving here for the mountains and they're taking advantage of the mountains, which is wonderful. However, the traffic going up is a lot harder. And now from Fort Collins, adding an extra hour, that like we don't go having the non-extra hour. So adding an extra hour, like you've got to be very committed to doing this. You might as well just like spend several days up there.
Yeah, you might as well just like rent a place up there and then do like a 2-3 day type.
See, look, we're talking back into it again. Okay, moving on.
Number 10. Number 10, and this one, Fort Collins, I mean, everyone here is super friendly, right? I'm going to give you an example of this. So we do our interview videos. We did one down in Denver, and it was like pulling teeth trying to get people to talk to us. Everyone were just like, or pretend like, we seriously like.
They're like, hello?
They're like,
hello? I'm like, the phone's not even on.
Or we did one here in Fort Collins, and everyone wanted to talk to us.
It was so nice.
Yeah, it was. It was like everyone was just like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" It's like it's not even them wanting to get on camera, because a lot of them didn't get on camera. It was just them coming in like, "Hey, what are you guys up to? What are you doing?" And it was just so much different. So if that's the type of community you don't want to be in, where you're walking downtown Fort Collins and people just like to say hi and talk, I mean,
Fort Collins might not be for you. That's a good one, right? If you don't like friendly people, that's why we put it to 10. But it's true, like people are, it's a culture here, and it comes back to that culture. People are very friendly, they're all outdoorsy, they want to collaborate with like-minded people and, you know, do things together. And if you're just kind of want to be able to do your own thing,
be to yourself and just not talk to anyone.
Being on an outskirt city, you'll
go
be
downtown Denver.
True. Sometimes true.
Sometimes true.
We had
a few friendly people in downtown Denver. It just, it was not. Fort Collins was so easy to talk to people here. They're just so willing and So like I said, if you're a hermit and you just hate socializing with people,
Fort Collins might not be for you.
Or maybe go live in the mountains above Fort Collins and then you just be away from everyone.
Yeah, that's true. You just talked him into it again. Okay. Anyways, as you all know, there's no secret we love Fort Collins, but these are still real things that you need to consider. Make sure that Fort Collins is for you. All right, guys, this is the end of the video. So if there's certain things that you want us to cover, whether it's in Fort Collins or any of the surrounding cities, please comment, reach out, text, email, however you prefer. We do these videos for you.
Yeah, guys. And of course, we're going to put that phone number below one more time. Like I said, if you call that, you're going to get Chelsea and Chelsea only. We love helping out with all your real estate needs when you're purchasing in Fort Collins. And until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye. Am I supposed to do the Colorado thing?
Yep.
Where did we leave off? What is wrong with us?
Now you're supposed to do your thing.
Okay, but I don't want. Can we cut that out?
Yeah, I'll cut that out.
I like forgot we were on camera for a minute. Okay. Now what?
Do your thing.
Okay. So many times. Places to move or live in. It keeps hitting all the different.
We're gonna give you the other side of the coin and tell you why you. Why?
And Pete here, and we're
Yeah, it will
but
get
we're
better.
recording right now, and this is a reason. If you live in Denver, I just went. One of our dear friends and the person that we work with up here, Elena, she is. Okay, wow, I don't know where I was going with that. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if there's another city or something that you guys want us to. What? Are you gonna do that or no?
No. Hold on.